Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory. Where last time we played around with the customizer, new materials and new ways of building, and deleted our nuclear power plant so that we could build our new nuclear power plant. Well, not exactly complete rebuild, right? More like remodel. We just wanted to make it look better because we have so many new decorating tools. In IMO, we did a pretty decent job. And since we ripped out all the guts of our factory, we're gonna be doing some interior decorating today and rebuilding our control room so we can get our power plants back online and start dealing with all this extra nuclear waste we accumulated. And if you're excited for that, remember to subscribe and leave a like. And as we get started, I gotta show you my new favorite thing to do in Update 5. It's make to do this with the signs. They're my favorite look. You just have like a large sign here, and then get a little teeny tiny sign and build it on the side. Retexture them and list them, and we can have to-do lists of all the things we need to do. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to-do lists everywhere. I love lists. Lists are life. And oh man, we got a lot to do to get this factory operational again. So yeah, like I mentioned, we gotta set up the control room's layout. We have to make pipe controls for if we want to send acid to like our normal factory or our emergency factory. All these extra switches we gotta do, redo all of the belt work, and then some final decorations and cleanup. And of course, getting the nuclear power plant back up and running. So let's start with something simple. Let's start with the control room layout here. So the big glass box kind of in the middle of our factory, yep, this is gonna be the control room area. We're gonna have all of the levers and pulleys that control the entire nuclear power plant here. And really, we only need 6. So big room, smaller switches. We gotta make it feel grand though. So let's look at our box. What do we got going on? Well, back here, definitely is just gonna be another glass window. Zoop it. So let's kind of ignore that. We need a way to walk through our factory, obviously, so why not just customize the floor, get some shiny coated concrete, and this will go over this way. Definitely we have to have like a walkway going through the control room, be 2 tiles wide, because we have doors now, somewhere, anywhere, doors? Ah, JK, I blatantly lied. Automated gates. Yeah. We have to have these for our main control room. Come on, you can't just have like a normal door for this. It's a nuclear power plant's control room. You gotta have the super big blast doors. Oh yeah. What? The other doors don't open for me? Is it because I'm small? It's true, I'm small. Sad. Main thing is though, we'll have a door on that side, meaning we probably should just have a door on this side. This will go over to the nuclear power plant so we can check on them and other places. Not to a machine, thank you. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that just yet. That kind of divides the room into this half and then this half. Well, you know what would be really cool? It'd be really cool if we could get a visual representation of what's going on in our factory. So you know what, we're gonna try and do something where we have all of the nuclear material of our factory moving through here. So we can see like if the nuclear waste is moving through or if our plutonium production's online and stuff like that. I love this. Yeah, we could just look down and we can see all the items moving and grooving. Great. I don't know what we'd do with this space then, but who cares? This idea is too good. That leaves the right side of the room, kind of the forward-facing wall, to be our control switch area. And to be honest, like I was mentioning, all we really have to do to set this up is build 6 of these in a row and then set up a bunch of wires behind there and we're done. But that's boring. Let's make things epic. And to make things epic, you gotta have some height variation. If you guys have ever watched Star Wars, the Star Destroyers are like a spaceship in that, and they have these really cool control decks where there's like the upper level where like the leaders would be standing, and then the lower levels where the people are working. But we can kind of adapt that idea where we'd be doing our control room stuff, and then down below, in like this tiny little gap here, we could have all of our wiring. What if we made this a smaller platform? Is that enough? No, it's not. General idea seems pretty good though. But then the main thing is we definitely have to have the control switches on pillars. That is way too tall. How are we getting up there? Fun fact is we're not, but we have clipping nowadays, and we're getting We're getting somewhere. That's more reasonable. Okay. Oh my gosh, and then we need stairs up to there. Fun fact, road barriers are one of the best things too with Update 5. You can do everything with them. They have like a snappable top, so you can put one down, and then you could put like a catwalk up against it. Look at that. Cool, eh? Whereas if you just had like a pillar, there's no like good snappable point on there. It's kind of like weird. So now we have cool stairs up to a little platform, and then we can just have our switch on there. And that right there is our general concept. And after many more hours of fiddling, we have many shenanigans afoot, and our switches are all in. Yeah, it's looking good. And we have the pipe controls in as well. So we're gonna have that belt idea concept running through here, but also we're gonna have the valves to control all of the acids here as well, because there's like nowhere really else to do that. Or at least it seemed most convenient in this room. Yeah, it took a couple hours to decorate and kind of finalize things. Lots of humming and hawing. One cool thing especially though, is we kind of have our captain's deck like stacked multiple times. So there's this area down here. I made a little bit more room so we could have like power cables here. And then when we get up here, there's this extra little level. So it just adds a little bit more depth. And that's our version 1 control room done. But while I was working on this for all those hours, oh my gosh, so many night cycles, and it was driving me nuts. I built in some temporary lights to just show what I'm doing, but dude, we have to have lights in this area. In fact, we're gonna be adding lights to like the whole factory now. I can't handle the darkness. We don't have the permaday mod, it's so sad. I added in the roof though, and it's gonna be glass as well. So this is gonna be a little complicated. How do you add lights onto a glass ceiling? Well, you could just throw them up like this, but I don't really vibe with that. It just feels like a glass ceiling shouldn't have the structural strength to handle all these industrial lights. I don't know, is that just me? Maybe. Instead, we're gonna do as we do, and we're gonna overcomplicate everything. Why not have hanging lights? I've never really built hanging lights before, so this should be fun. Please. What? What? This is cursed. Just let me build underneath. What the f is going on? Help. I can't build underneath. Fine, you know what? We have the walls over here. Let's loop some lights over there. And then we'll have some here. So we'll build some lights just down this way. And I think what most people do with hanging lights is they just have like a wall outlet just on the lights, but it looks like you can't. Good thing they added in beams. Give me that beam. Give me it. Come on. There was no platform there? Oh my God! I deleted it to get up the ladder. Roger, this is Kibitz coming back in to work on some beams. Factory looking very cool from above. Crash into a drone, please land. Good. And now beams, deliver us glory. Default, it's pretty good. Let me just have that go all the way down. I guess we'll have to have 2 of those. And then we must have power plugs on here, right? Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so general idea then is we'll have all of these in a row. We'll get rid of the blocks later, but we'll have beams kind of holding them together on one little grid. And then the power outlets just on the ceiling and on here. And then from below it'll look like they're hanging, and that'll be pretty rad. And extremely practical too. Oh my gosh, they look so good hanging down from up there. And I can actually see at night. It's crazy. Lights, wild thing. It's kind of weird with the glass roof too. It's like infinity lights or something like that. It's a little wild, but I can definitely get used to it. Since I can see what I'm doing, it's time to get into the intricacies of this control room. A bunch of stuff to do. Number 1, I want to deal with all this pipe logic here. So with the valves and our acids, pretty much we want this valve to control where the acid goes, either to our main factory or to our emergency factory that deals with excess nuclear waste when mistakes happen. And how we have the logic working is we're gonna have a junction here, and this junction will have the stuff go down that way, somewhere. And the main thing is, that somewhere is going to be actually to the emergency area. The emergency area is not gonna be running all the time though, so that pipe will fill up. And then going through this way will go to normal systems. However, when the emergency happens, we will shut down normal systems and divert all resources to the emergency one. That way, we can actually deal with all the nuclear waste that we're building up. And knowing me, of course, let's just put a sign on right here. We'll center things better as well. And I'll just write a note to myself saying, yo, close valve in case of emergency. Then you just copy that to the other side and our valve logic is good to go. And also I just snuck the other pipe underneath the platform so it all looks snug and nice. Meaning we can get to the next phase, which is bringing items through here. So again, I want to have a visual representation of what's going on in the factory. So we want to bring a couple items through here to see what they're doing. One would definitely be uranium, to see that uranium's flowing through the factory. Another would be plutonium, because we want to see that the nuclear waste is gotten rid of. Of course, we would want to have the nuclear waste here, because come on, it looks cool. The nuclear fuel rods would be nice to see. And what else? I don't know. Probably what we're making down in these blenders. These guys, the encased uranium cells. Just because it's one of the items we'll sink in case of a nuclear meltdown. And now look at that, some belts are there, and all the items will move through here when everything gets turned back on. The plutonium, by the way, we're bringing it from all the way over there, bringing it to the control room, and then sending it all the way back. Because I'll be honest, that awesome sink over there looks really cool. Everything else we can sink though, guess what? It's going over here to these awesome sinks and it is gone skis. Also started belting and working on this room a little bit because, you know, making it walkable is pretty cool. And also the belt spaghetti has begun. It's only gonna get worse from here, let me tell ya. And speaking of walkability, something I really need in here is an actual proper entrance. 99% of the time, I'm just flying in from some hypertube cannon, but I need a way to properly walk in here. And you know what? We're gonna have an entrance over here. I just wanna build something simple and out of the way, because the front of our base already looks perfect in my opinion, and I don't wanna mess with it. So hey, what do you think? Looking any different? No? Perfect. Because I really try to keep things hidden, like very small platforms just on stilts and like a staircase. And then up the staircase on this platform is the main entrance. It's kind of a work in progress, but yeah, it's pretty good. But I think I'll give it some more thought and we'll come back to it later. Going back inside, we've got the staircase up here. This is all done and we can walk around, we can move, we can groove, and it's feeling good. Also, I spent some time working on the second floor up here. And this is all the finished up pipe work for our acids. So we have storage containers for like the backup nitric acid. We have the main acid lines over here. Everything's labeled and it's all nice and organized. So let's move on to the next thing. And I think it's something that I'll boop. It's gonna be all the wiring. And with the wiring, we wanna have it control the meltdown procedure, i.e. sinking as much nuclear material as possible, turning on our emergency plutonium backup plant, turning on plutonium processing? No. This will just be normal processing this will turn on and off. Our main grid connection, and then our nuclear water pumps. But the astute among you might notice, we have 6 power switches and that was only 5 things. So I guess this one will be, I don't know, lights? Sure. Oh, but I had a way better idea while I was doing the wiring. Pump backup batteries. What happens if all of our power suddenly shuts down? How are we ever gonna turn on this nuclear power plant again? Well, we can store nuclear fuel rods, sure, but the fuel rods are pretty much worthless unless you have water to make the steam and blah, 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 make power. So of course, some backup generators for the water pumps is a fantastic idea. And it solves another problem of filling out this floor over here. So over to the right, it's just Beltmageddon. And then we had these awesome sinks, right? Now over here, we have batteries for days that can power those pumps. And cool system is, I have this all attached to our main grid, so we can charge everything from the main grid. And then I've wired things in a meticulous way in which when we turn on the emergency power for the water pumps, it only takes power from those batteries and nowhere else. Meaning the battery's only job will be getting the nuclear power plants running again. And as I mentioned, all the wiring's done now. So this factory should be fully operational. Except there's one more thing we need to do. Details. We're gonna actually paint pipes. I know, it's crazy, but we're gonna do that. Not only that, we're gonna clean up all the other areas of the factory. So I've added in this cool little hallway here that goes to our hyper tube cannon that will launch us back to base or anywhere else in the world. This thing is freaking powerful as anything. And then of course, we're gonna add in lights. And if you think these lights look good, oh man, I finished up all of the painting of the pipework and it is a drastically better change. I did a little bit extra too. And man, you guys have mentioned in the comments for a while that I should do this, and I should have listened to you guys sooner because things are looking awesome, dude. I painted all of the machines black and then the sulfuric acid pipes are all that neon yellow, and dude, look at the refineries when they're painted matte black. Oh, they look so good. Not only these pipes have been painted though, but the pipes all around the factory have been painted. Both in the new areas and the old areas. So now if anything ever goes wrong again, hopefully I kinda know what to do. As I was running around the factory, I did a couple of improvements to the entrance as well, and it looks pretty much the same, just a little bit more epic. But out of everything, there is one thing I'm most excited to show you. The new centerpiece for our factory is our new to-do list board right in the center here. So I've managed to optimize it so it's only one sign. All you have to do is switch the layout to one that's on the list here. And now when we select an image, we can just add the check mark here. Done. So cables, done skis. Control room belt work, like bringing the items through so we can see what's going on in the factory. That's done. Debugging, we'll get to that. Painting, just completed. Looking fresh. Pipe rework, we did that a little while ago. Done skis. Lights, bright, you better believe it. And restart debugging, get rid of nuclear waste. It does seem to be that time. And to do that, we need to restart our non-fissile uranium production. This will eventually turn nuclear waste into plutonium. And we're using this recipe here, so we need uranium back into the nuclear power plant. So we gotta reactivate all of the drones. Welcome back to life, my friends. Thank you for hanging out for the last 2 weeks. So now that's getting started. But also, we have to activate our nuclear chew. Our train that's literally full of uranium and can kill us in an instant if we don't have our hazmat suit on. Yes, let's get this thing moving and grooving again. Begin. And with both of those on, that should get rid of our nuclear waste. Or at least start getting rid of it. Yeah? Is it moving? Oh yeah, there it goes. So our nuclear waste is being processed. Or at least it was, until somehow the processing stopped. I'm pretty sure I just did something wrong with the power cables. That seems to be a pretty logical thing, but no, we got power here. And it was processing, we saw it processing. So why would it stop? Doesn't really make a lot of sense. No. No! How? This is impossible. There's no way. How is Caterium in the line? There's a, what? Ooh. This is not. What? A drone and a train are bringing in this material. It is impossible for there to be Caterium here. And how is it only a limited amount of Caterium? It only looks to be like, is this like 1,000 or something? There's no way. There's no way. Where's this coming from? We gotta follow the line. Scooby-Dooing time. This shouldn't be possible. All of the uranium's coming from this way, okay. Across the bridge, through our sulfuric acid setup, and underneath this platform, right outside to the drones. But drones can't and are not going through multiple stops right now. But that one has Caterium in it, but it's not in here, it's in the drone. And so it's trying to drop off Caterium. Where is this from? Drone, what is the port you are going to? Test poop out port? Oh, these are the tests. And look, they have the Caterium. But that should be impossible. Unless, wait a second, long ago, when we're first setting up this entire nuclear power plant, before the million nuclear waste, like meltdown meme, we were testing the throughput of drones using Caterium because we didn't want to have nuclear material at the nuclear power plant yet. But that was months ago? And the fact, like, the nuclear power plant has been running since then, so it would have been, like, we would have ran into this problem forever ago, right? That's what I'm getting at. Over here, we have all of our uranium, of course. Yeah, of course, it's all just uranium on the belt. And then in the ports here, outgoing. I have three wild theories. Number one theory is maybe, just for an instance, the uranium node behind the waterfall there was switched over to a Caterium node. That's number one. Number two is that the Caterium has been in these drone ports for months and months and months. And I guess having the drone ports turned off for so long caused the Caterium to finally flow through the port? But that seems impossible. Number three is ghosts. I guess we can test one of those theories, and that's to see if the Caterium has been in there for ever. So I'm gonna load up update 4 in an old save file and see what's going on. So welcome back to the past, everyone. Where textures aren't loading correctly, we're beginning to process through our million nuclear waste, and we're living with our old control room, which definitely looks outdated at this point. But this isn't a freaking old-timey trip down memory lane. We are investigating a problem. So, there's Caterium in these drones, apparently. We would be seeing the Caterium in these drones as we're processing like a million nuclear waste. Of course we would, right? So in this port, is there any in here yet? No, they're clear. Well, this one's clear. I'm certain the other one's clear. Yeah, it's clear too. So that means you're telling me that lurking in these two drone ports for the last 2 months, there's Caterium sitting here that's never been processed? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That is amazing. I can't believe it. This has been here for months. Ever since we started doing our throughput testing. That is amazing. So what's happening is the drones are able to take like these first couple stacks, like these first 9 stacks of uranium, and they never got to this Caterium. I can't believe it. It's been sitting here this whole time. How much further back can we go? Let's see, what's the oldest save file I have loaded? From June. Oh my gosh, and there it is. From back when we're testing throughput numbers. There's all that stupid Caterium that's caused us all of our troubles. That is amazing. So this problem has been lurking for months and months and months, and I guess it's kind of a good thing that it cleared out of the system now. Because if all of our stuff was running normally again, eventually, we probably would have this clog the system later on in time, and then that would have shut down our entire power grid. So we seriously just dodged a huge bullet here. And knowing what we know now, this is one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me in a game. We found a ticking time bomb that would have caused a nuclear disaster that's been lurking in our systems for almost half a year. I've been playing for hundreds of hours since June. And this has been there the whole time. Waiting, lurking, preparing to strike at some time. And because we redecorated, only because we redecorated and redid our systems like we did, that's how we caught it. So this could have happened way in the future, and I no way I would have noticed, and eventually it would have shut down our whole world. That is just so cool. Man, I love this game. That is just such a neat thing to happen. So I cleared out the Caterium, and now the last 2 check marks are here. Man, we gotta be done debugging. So we're gonna save that. And it's time to restart the nuclear power plant for the final time so we can leave this project behind and build new factories and our new main base. So, nuclear restart all begins with a little sippy drink, and that should get things going. But of course I had to say something, right? Check this out. Our power consumption is going up because our nuclear power plant is running and making fuel rods. But our power production hasn't moved at all. Why? Well, luckily, we have some handy tools now to monitor things. So these belts we added in earlier kind of show what's going on in the factory. The uranium is staying still, those things are staying still, and the fuel rods are staying still. Meaning, meltdown's not happening, we're not draining these out of the system. So, nuclear fuel rods should be going to the power plants. We're seeing that there's plutonium fuel rods, meaning that the nuclear waste processing is online. And the nuclear waste keeps moving and hasn't clogged up yet, so yeah, there's no clog. So all systems are showing that yes, power plants should be running. Oh my gosh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Take a guess in the comments below what this last problem is. Take a guess. You know it. You know it's gonna be this. Or at least you're gonna facepalm if you didn't guess this. I didn't connect the power from the nuclear power plants to the rest of our power grid. Disconnected all the wires, and I never reconnected the freaking nuclear power plants. Oh, past Kibs, you are just the biggest jokester, aren't you? Very funny, haha, hee hee, XD. All right, that had to have fixed things, of course, right? Yes, I think it did. We're done. We should be done. Last check mark on the list. And our nuclear power plant is operational forevermore. So that's gonna be all then. So I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching. But have a fantastic rest of your day and bye-bye.